everyone, welcome to EdEasy. So in this lecture we are going to learn what a constitution is, and we are also going to see the first and the second function of the constitution. So by the end of this video I am sure that you are going to learn these two functions by yourself. So let's get into the video. So here in the introduction you can see that this book is about the working of the Indian Constitution, and you are going to learn what a constitution means, what it does to the society, who is going to govern and who is going to have the power, and many other things. So before jumping into the first function of the constitution, I am going to explain you an example to understand the function of the constitution very clearly. So here is that example. So imagine that this whole box is a society, and these are the different kinds of people living in the society. As you can see that I have represented people in black, red, blue. This is to symbolize that they are different from each other. For example, these might be Hindus, these may follow Christianity, there might be several other religions as well. So as there are many people, there can be many opinions too. Now the question comes, when there are different kinds of people and they are having different opinions, how are they going to coexist? I mean, in the society, everyone is dependent on each other. So without any basic rules, how are they going to behave with each other? And I also wanted to give you another example to understand the differences and the opinions. So imagine these people and these people are having children, and one of them is sending to school and one of the parent is not sending to school. Instead, they are sending their children to work so that they can accommodate their family. So child 1 is going to school, but child 2 is not going to school. Instead, he is working to accommodate for his family. Now who is going to help the child 2? As there are different kinds of people in the society and there is no rule or nothing, how we can help the child 2? So this gives an example that when there are no rules in the society, we cannot provide justice to the one who need it. Now imagine that there is a rule book in this society which says that, for example, there is a rule book in the society and that rule says that every child under 14 years must go to school. So what we can do? We can interfere in this matter and help this child to go to school. But if there is an absence of the rule book, we cannot provide justice to this child. So I guess now you are able to understand what happens if there is no rule book in the society. So now let's read line by line. Constitution allows coordination and assurance. Okay, so imagine yourself to be a member of reasonably large group. We have already seen this example. Now further imagine that group has following characteristics. The members of this group are diverse in various ways. They are having different religions. Some are Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and perhaps profess no religion at all. We have seen this example. So we can also see some other questions and scenarios like some are old, some are young, and imagine further that the members of this group are likely to have disputes over various aspects of their life. We have seen in the example, like one parent is able to send his child to the school, but another parent is sending that child to the work. So there might be many other questions like this. How much should a group spend on its safety and security? So they require the cooperation of each other. What will enable the group to live together peacefully? Now stop this video for a moment and you by yourself analyze. So as we have discussed earlier, if there is a rule book, then the members of the society can live peacefully. Correct? Now let's go and see the first function of the constitution. So the first function of a constitution is to provide a set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination among the different members of the society. We have discussed, like, this is the society, this is the rule book. So a constitution must have a set of rules. Rules for what? For which allows the minimum coordination among whom? The members of the society. So this is the first function of the constitution. And here you should also see the most important line, saying that rules are legally enforceable gives an assurance to everybody that others will follow these rules, for if they do not so, they will be getting punished. Yes, so what does this line says? Okay, there must be a rule book where everyone of the society should follow it, and what happens if they don't follow? They are going to get punished. Now let's see the second function of a constitution. So in the first example, we have got to see that this is a society and these are the different members of the society, and there is also a rule book. Now, who is going to decide the rules in that book? For example, if only this person is going to decide the rules in this book, what about all these people? As everyone is different over here, everyone will have different ideologies, correct? Likewise, for example, if this set of people are going to define the rules, what about this set of people? They are going to suffer, right? Now the constitution comes into the picture. It will say that who is going to set the basic rules. So we'll go through the paragraph 1 so that you will understand it perfectly. Now let's read this paragraph to understand in detail. Specification of decision making powers. A constitution is a body of fundamental principles according to which a state is constituted or governed. We have already seen this. But what should these fundamental rules be, and what makes them fundamental? Well, the first question which you have to decide is who gets to decide, as we have seen in this scenario. What about the laws governing the society should be? We have already discussed this thing also. You might want X to rule, but others may want Y to rule. Now, how we will decide whose rules or preferences should govern us? You may think the rules you want to everyone to live by are the best, but other thinks that their rules are best. How we are going to resolve this dispute? So even before you decide like what rules should govern this group, you have to decide like who is going to put those rules into this rule book. Now who is having that answer? The constitution itself is having the answer for this scenario. So the constitution has to provide an answer to this question. It specifies the basic allocation of power in a society. It decides who gets to decide and what laws will be. In principle, this question, who gets to decide, can be answered in many ways. So in a monarchical constitution, a monarch decides. In some other constitution like old Soviet Union, one single party was given power to decide. But in democratic constitutions, broadly speaking, the people get to decide. Simple. Like if it is a monarch who is ruling the country, he will decide the basic rules. If it is a democratic country like India, the people are going to decide the constitution. Now how come the people are going to decide? They are going to elect the representatives who are further going to decide what should be there in the constitution. You can see here in the Indian constitution, for example, it is specified that in most instances parliament, that means the representatives, get to decide laws and policies, and that parliament itself be organized in a particular manner. So before identifying what the law in any society is, you have to identify who has the authority to enact it. Is it a monarch or is it a democratic republic. So here comes the second function of the constitution. So the second function of a constitution is to specify who has the power to make decisions in the society, and it also decides how the government will be constituted. So I'm sure that now you can understand what a constitution is and the first and the second functions of the constitution. So let us revise once. What is a constitution? A constitution is a set of principles which governs a country. What is the first function of the constitution? Is to set basic rules to allow for minimal coordination among whom the members of the society. What is the second function of the constitution? Is to decide who is having the power to make the laws or the rules, and also who is going to rule the country. Is it a monarch or is it a democratic republic? So that is it for today's. We have seen what is constitution, and we have also seen the first and second function of the constitution. If you like the way of teaching, if you are able to understand in my teaching, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. In next video, I am going to upload the third and the fourth functions of the constitution. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.